in Chapter 4, and Chapter 4, by the way, is about trigonometry, one of my favorite units. 4.1 is about radian and degree measures, so two different ways to measure angles. It says, how do you describe angles and angular movement? Trigonometry is derived from the Greek language and means the measure of triangles. An angle in standard position. So standard position means the initial side of the angle is on the x-axis at 0 degrees. And then it rotates counterclockwise, and the terminal side would be wherever it is after it rotated counterclockwise. This would be our angle in standard position. It's positive if it rotates counterclockwise, and if it went, or I guess I can show the angle this way, would be a negative angle. And then we have our 90-degree angle here, 180-degree angle, and then 270 degrees, and then all the way to 360. So the first thing you need to be able to do is tell what quadrant the angles are in. So this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this one is quadrant 3, and this one is quadrant 4. So being able to draw angles is important in this unit, so we will be practicing that in this chapter. So for the first one, negative 225 degrees, I'm going to draw my initial side. There's the initial side, and then it's going to rotate it's going to rotate clockwise because it's negative, and 225 would bring us to the second quadrant, and that is our 225-degree angle. So this one is the second quadrant. 2 degrees would be a very small angle in the first quadrant. 125 degrees, we have our initial side. This would be a 125-degree angle. This would be in the second quadrant as well. Negative 155, it would rotate clockwise and be in the third quadrant. And 552, this would be 360, right? Because you're rotating across, this is 0 or 360 degrees. If we add 90, we're going to be at, 450? And, 450, and we want to go to 552, so we keep adding 90. So can we add another 90? And if we add 180, we're going to be at 540. So it looks like we're going to go a little bit further, and we'll be in the third quadrant. So being able to sketch angles is important. Coterminal angles are angles that have the same initial and terminal side. To find coterminal angles, you can add or subtract 360 degrees. So this first example says find two coterminal angles, one positive and one negative for each angle. So you can find, you can find the positive angle by adding 360. You can add 360 as many times as you need to, or subtract 360 as many times as you need to. So 60 plus 360 is going to give us 420. But I could also do 60 minus 360 and get negative 300. These are both coterminal angles. So if I were to sketch a graph of both of them, their initial side and their terminal side would be the same. One of them would go around once and then end up there. The other one would go around the other way and end up there. All right, for 300, if we add 360, we get 660. Or if we subtract 360, we get negative 60. Same thing with negative 128. So we can do negative 128 plus 360. And if we want to get a negative angle, we can subtract 360. Sorry, I did that opposite. No, I did it right the first time. I don't know what I was thinking. With 670, if I subtract 360, I get 310, which is still a positive angle. So I could subtract 360 again and then get my negative angle. So you can subtract or add as many times as you want. So you might say you could add 360n times. This is a review from geometry. Supplementary angles are two angles that have a sum of 180 degrees. Complementary angles are two angles who have a sum of 90 degrees. So find the complement and supplement. So 97 degrees is already over 90, but you could do now that we have negative angles, you could do negative 7 degrees would be the complement. And then 83 degrees would be its supplement. I always remember this, and I tell my geometry students the same. I compliment students when they are right. They have the right answer. Right angles are 90 degrees. So that's how you can remember it if you're struggling to remember it. So the complement would be 90 minus 32, which is 58 degrees, and the supplement would be 180 minus 32, which would be 148 degrees. Okay, I'm going to stop there and we'll do a part 2.